Welcome back to my 10-part teaching series, Get Google Ready in 2024. And now that I've taken you through the process of how to set up all of your Google Ads campaigns, what I want to do now is I want to break down how to go through and optimize your campaigns in the correct way. And let's firstly start with optimizing your search campaigns. And the process I'm going to be taking you through, I'm going to be using my Google Ads optimization checklist. And you can get your own copy of my Google Ads optimization checklist for free. And to get that, all you need to do is to follow the link in the description below. Now, this optimization checklist is a checklist that I've put together, and it breaks down exactly what you need to be optimizing in your Google Ads account. But more importantly, it lets you know how often you need to be running these checks, whether you're doing it every 72 hours, every week, every month, and every 90 days. Because it is important to note that with Google Ads, there are some things you need to check weekly, and there are other things like your bidding optimization strategies that you don't need to check until every 3 months or 90 days. So right now, let's get into this optimization process for your Google search campaigns. But just in case you haven't met yet, my name is Aaron Young. I'm from Define Digital Academy, and I'm your 15,000-hour Google Ads master. And remember to get your own copy of my Google Ads optimization checklist, which I'm going to be showing this video. All you need to do is to follow that link in the description below. But right now, let me show you how you can optimize your Google Ads search campaigns for better results. So here, what is your Google Ads optimization checklist? And what I'm going to be focusing on is the 3 core actions of completing a keyword search review, reviewing your ads, and then also reviewing your bid optimizations by audience and demographic targeting. So firstly, for your keyword search review, you are going to be going into your Google Ads search campaign. And when you're in an individual campaign, you then want to be going into your search keywords. And we want to go down to this search terms. And what I'll generally do is I'll go back over the past 7 days. And what we want to do here is that your search keywords are the keywords which you've actually entered and that you're telling Google, these are the keywords you want to target. But when we go into our search terms, these are the actual search terms that a user is using to trigger your ads. There's 2 processes that we want to be going through here when we're reviewing our search term audits. Firstly, we want to go through and add in any extra negative keywords. You can see through here, this campaign has been running for over 12 months, so I've built out a really extensive list of negative keywords. At the moment, we've got 847. There are 7 different keywords that have been added as negative keywords to limit or stop Google triggering ads for keyword terms that we know are not going to be profitable. Firstly, you want to make sure that you're seeing the right columns. If you want to edit this data, you just need to go up into columns. I've got clicks, impressions, click-through ratio, CPC, and the cost, and then also my conversion metrics. If any of these aren't in here, so you can just go into conversions. Let's just say you wanted to add in your conversion value, you can select that and then add it in here. If you want to also change the order, so let's just say we want to see the cost first, you can pull that up to here. Now, the reason for why I like to do that is it just makes it easier for me to be able to see the different data. And what I want to be looking at is I'm just going through and scrolling down to see if there's any search terms that a user used which is not relevant for our service. Now, obviously, because this campaign is quite a mature campaign and we've already got about 850 different negative keywords, there's not that many. But as you can see, I can see one in here, and this is ZipA because someone has actually searched skip in high ZipA. This business does not offer ZipA, so that's a negative keyword that I would add. And also Rochester, that's in an area which is outside of this business. It's a good hour away, so that's an area that we don't want to target. And then you just keep going down through the list. So that's 2 that I'm looking at. We can go through and then add that as a negative keyword and we click Save. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out here is that by default, Google will add these as an exact match keyword. That means that Google will only block out if someone actually searches for skip in higher ZipA. What I generally do is I add them as an exact match negative keyword. Then what I'll also do while they're still selected, I'll click Add as a negative keyword again, and then I'll just remove the brackets. For this one, I actually want that to be done at the campaign level, so I select that there. By doing this, it's then taken out that whole theme of negative keywords. It's going to be a lot more effective. You do just need to be a little bit careful if you're blocking out some search terms which are really similar and you still want to target them. So just be careful by doing this. And if you're a little bit unsure, just continue to add in those negative keywords as exact match keywords. And now the other thing that you do want to be doing is you also want to be looking at any keywords which are performing really well. So I'm going to go through a bit of a longer date range in here because I've already completed these actions just to show you what I mean. And then we're going to filter this down by conversions. As you can actually see, What I've done here is because these keywords were performing really well with the click-through ratio, also the number of conversions, I was adding them as exact match keywords. The way that you do that is you click Add Keyword, and then you can add them in through there. Now, they will be added directly as a broad match keyword. If you want to go through and change any of these, as you can see, you just need to go through and click Edit and change match types. Then you can go through and select whether you want to add it as an exact match or phrase match. That's the first process that you want to be going through and doing. That's the keyword search review. And that's where we're going through completing that search term audit and adding in extra negative keywords, but also adding in any long tail search terms which are performing well. And I'm recommending that you do that every 72 hours, especially for a new campaign. When I start a new campaign, I would complete that search term audit 3 times in the first 7 days. And now I want to go through to your ad review. And the way that you do this is that you go into your ad groups, goes into your ads and your assets, and I'm generally looking at data over the last 30 days. And what you want to be doing through here is that you want to be having 2 different types of ads, and you're doing a test to find out which is the better performing ad. And generally what I'm looking at doing here is that how much we get each ad to around about 1,000 impressions, I'll start making a decision. So I can see through here this top ad has a better click-through ratio of 14%. So that's a 6% difference in a click-through ratio. So that's quite a big difference. But then when we go down into the conversion rate and also the cost per conversion, you can see that they're quite similar. What you can also do is you can also just start looking at the trends, and you can see this top one has fast at the top. If we go the last 7 days, you can see this trend is around about the same again, and even if we go the last 14 days. Now we can see there's a little bit of an emerging trend with this ad that has the fast at the start. So with this one, I'm still looking at a little bit of extra data. So what I would then do, I would then go into my ad review, and in the notes section, we could say that we did a review on a certain date. So let's say, for example, we're completing this on the 28th of November. We can then make that note saying that we're just waiting to see some further data, and then we can come back and review that in another 30 days. And just to show you, when we're talking about the ad copy split test, what we want to be doing is we want to have 2 ads which are fairly similar, and we're only testing one different thing. You can see with this ad in here, I'm doing a test with using keyword insertion. I've got fast before it, and then the other one without that modifier at the end. So you can see here it says fast skip in, kibulcha. Other ones are just saying skip higher, and then this one says fast skip in higher. So we're doing that as a test. And then the other test we're doing with a call to action with the position 3 pinned and saying skip in high from 265. When we go into the other ad, you can see there's 2 differences, one with that keyword insertion. We don't have the word fast in front of it. And secondly, I haven't pinned in that skip in high from 265 into position 3. But what I want to also show you and through here as well is that when you've gone through and completed a split test, my recommendation is to not edit the current ad, but to pause it and then go edit, copy, and then after you've copied it, you can then repaste it into this ad group. The reason for that is because that then allows us, we can see through here, we can actually go through and see our old ads that we've already tested, and we can look to see what the differences were. You can see this is one of the initial ads that we tested, and we didn't have that headline pinned into position 1. We weren't pinning in that dynamic keyword insertion into position 1. That was an earlier test that we found out that that is the better performing format for this campaign. So with your ad copy tests, you want to be completing this every 30 days and you want to be testing 2 different ads. And then you want to be changing in a new ad copy when you're seeing a clear winner in relation to your click-through ratio and also your conversion rates. And then the final process I want to be taking you through as a core optimization action for your search campaigns is looking at your bid optimizations by audience and demographic targeting. And to do that, you want to be going into your audiences. And what I want to stress through here is that you want to be looking at this over a 60-day or a 90-day period. So let's go back to the start of September. Now, one of the biggest misunderstandings about audiences in search campaigns is that I'll see a lot of people who will only add in 1 or 2 different audiences, thinking that Google will only target those audiences. That is not the case. Is because unless you're using the targeted option, which most people aren't, and using the observation method, all you're asking for is you're just asking Google to give you this data.